Hello everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. I'm back with another one sheet project for you. You can make this from one sheet of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. Everything I've embellished it with is from the same scrapbook paper collection. I've used Wonderland by Stamperia, but any paper will do. The only extras I've used really are a few charms and some seam binding. So let's have a look at it. So the closure is seam binding. I've got little beads on the end there, just to provide a little bit of a weight there to keep it closed. It's got another knot there so your two lengths don't get wayward. We've got that little dragonfly charm there. You will see me at the end umming and ahhing about what charms to use. So you won't see me add the two charms because I can't decide. Yeah, I've made too many decisions by that point. So front cover, we've got a little pocket there and a card from the collection. I've just put a ball chain on and a little butterfly. They're the We Are Memory Keepers wide eyelets. I've used one again there for the closure. So we then open it up and we've got 3 pockets here, 3 independent pockets. I'll show you how to make that extra pocket so that it doesn't interfere with that pocket. Got another pocket there, but I haven't put anything in that as yet. So they're the tags. I've used some of my vast collection of paper inside as the pages, and we've got a large pocket here that you can put all sorts in. If you're going to be putting photos on the pages or little doodads and knickknacks, you can store them in this big pocket. I've just put a couple of cards. Oh, I've not inked them. A couple of cards from collection. So that's it. It's a bit simpler than last time's. I didn't make it much quicker. I think I must have done more waffling. So yeah, hold on to your hats for a waffle fest. So let's crack on. And here we are back in time. So yeah, one reason I stopped doing my prototype, apart from the fact I wouldn't have had time to do a prototype and make a video, is I'd used the front cover, and I intended to use the front cover in the video and the back cover for the prototype. So I can only show you half at the front cover at paper pad I'm using now. You didn't want to buy it anyway. I can't find it on Amazon. I've had this yonks. It's the Stamperia Wonderland collection. That's the back cover that shows you all the pages. So if you can see, I've used that one to get so far along with my prototype. But you've seen a fully made one now, haven't you? So you know what's going to happen. Yeah, and that's it halfway done. Right, so I'll show you the and the reason I decided to use the covers is, like I said, I was inspired by Penelope of Penelope's Chinwag. I'm saying like I said, I don't know, I haven't filmed that bit yet, so I'll tell you now. Yeah, time travel boggles my brain. So yes, I've been watching Penelope's Chinwag. Brilliant channel. Penelope, I can listen to her talk about anything. But what she does do is she shows things that she's been making from other YouTubers. She makes them and gives them to her family members and friends. And she'd mention me again today. Thank you, Penelope. But she'd done one of my projects and used the front cover of a pad because you don't see the other side. And I thought, yeah, that's a brilliant idea. So this older Stamperia collection, it doesn't have any tags and stuff on the inside of the front and back covers. So I'm going to make one with this and one with the front cover that's half done. Anyway, let's pretend I ain't half done one. I know what I'm doing now anyway. I've done enough for it to know what I'm up to, she says. So I'm going to use this. The front and inside, front and back covers are duplicated within the pack as well, so that's good. If we go wrong, I can have another go. Same with front cover. And I will be decorating with the ephemera, as you've seen. But don't go out buying a paper pad to make this. Use what you've got. If you aren't going to 12 by 12 and you want to make it, you're obviously going to have to make some, aren't you? Buy some. But no, if you bought the pad that I used last week, I know a few of you did, use some of that. Yeah, you can always cover any upside down bits up with a bit more paper. Right, let's get the scoreboard out. So yeah, check out Penelope. She's absolutely fabulous. I was watching her this morning while I had my cuppa waking up. Right, here's my measurements. They will be coming up on the screen as well now, so I can put them to where I can see them. I'm going to grab my scoring tool. I'm going to put my... I don't even know if that's right way up. See what I mean about it not being obvious whether that's what way it is. Right, the front of the journal, I'll show... Actually, I'm glad I've got this half done. So this is how... Is it? No, that's it. Right, that's it. That's what we're going to have. No, it ain't. Turn it round, woman. Turn it round. Yeah, that's what we're going to have. So as you can see, that's the front of the journal. So the front of the paper, it's going to be about the centre third of this right edge that's going to be your front. So if you're trying to incorporate a picture and you just want to adjust these up and down measurements slightly, you can. You'll just end up with slightly different size pockets there. Yeah, some of you will get what I mean, some of you won't. In fact, none of you might, where I've explained it. Shut up, woman, and score your paper. So we're going to score 1 3/4 inches. I'll bring it down so you can see. So 1 3/4. Then another 1/8 of an inch along, which is going to be, I've just scored that wrong line, have I? I've just scored there at 1 1/2. This is going to be good. I'll just score it again at 1 3/4. We'll have a score line in this we didn't want. Score at 1 3/4 and 1 7/8 and 2 inches. And just ignore that other one I did. Just ignore it. It's the wrong place. It'll look nice. It'll look like I put it there on purpose. We did want a tram line on this. Then we're going to score again at 7 inches. 7 1/8 and 7 1/4. They make our spine and the little closure bit. It just means you've got a bit of room for it to expand. Right, we're then going to turn it round so the top is on this edge. Yeah, and we're going to score here. Look, I've gone from imperial to decimal there. That's what happens when you go to school in era when they teach both, when they were swapping over. You just randomly switch from one to other. So we're going to score this at 3 1/2 inches. These are the ones I said you could alter slightly if you just want to incorporate a slightly different part of your picture. Then we're going to score at 9 inches. Then we're going to score again at 11 1/2 inches. There we go. I like to go over them twice. Then we've done scoring. So put your scoreboard away, woman. Right, then we've got to do some cutting. So I'll put this over that so you can see. Aha, that's what we've got now. So apart from that bit that folds over, can you see what we've cut out? Oh, I might start doing an halfway made one just to show you what we're doing a bit easier. Yeah. So I'm going to be able to scribble. And I don't want to scribble on it because I might want to use it. We need to cut the spine out above and below that crease. We need to cut that top corner out, including the spine creases. Yeah, and we need to cut that bottom corner out and all the way along that bottom piece. Yeah, so yeah, I did have my paper upside down though. Well spotted, anyone who spotted it. So I'm just going to have to tilt this awkwardly so I can see my lines. If you can't see your lines, just put a bit of ink on them. You'll see them better. So I'm going to cut just up to that first crease. And I'm going to cut that off. I like to get in that last little bit with my little scissors. Turn paper, woman. Stop trying to turn your wrist in a direction it does not even go. Then we're going to do the same again. And cut that top corner off. Oh, I want to cut all stripy lines off. Cut all stripy lines off. Crazy lady. Yep, this scoring might be a little bit more difficult to get your head round than last week, but the actual journal is much quicker and easier. So we've cut that off, so that's going to be our flap. Can you see? That's going to fold up. That's going to fold down. Yeah. That's going to be, I do need to take that off. I need to cut that bit off now. And those bits there. Yeah, I nearly lost plot then. It happens often. So I'm going to cut up along each these outer crease lines. I'm finding them really hard to see. This is going to be the wonkiest cutting ink world, but don't worry, we can come in and neaten it up That was just so bad. I've missed the tram line altogether. So I'm going to turn it over. I don't know why I'm calling them tram lines. I do live in a city that has trams. Maybe that's it. Parallel lines are just called tram lines, aren't they? So that's that. I'm then going to do the same again with this bottom part. I can see tram line better on this side. So I'm looking at the bumpy bit, not the valley. Yeah, and on this part here, I'm just going to cut that off because I don't need it. If you're clever and you want to just scarp alter it, do that. But I'm not that clever. I needed a fold on the other one. I didn't need it on this. So I'm just going to cut that off. Actually, I think, yeah, I would have seen the gap and it would have bugged me. Right, so now I've got those folded in, I'm going to cut these bits off. Again, slow it down, pause it, do what you need. I was surprised by how many people didn't know you could pause YouTube, slow the speed down or speed it up. Look at that, that's terrible. Look, look how wonky that is. Could that have been any wonkier? I don't really think it could. So let's cut. Oh yeah, I've gone from one tram line to another. It's another reason I've got tram lines on brain. I was looking at prices at tickets. There's a festival that takes place, a music festival in Sheffield, tram lines. The price is ridiculous. If I want lottery, I won't pay for tickets because they're so expensive. It's just plain wrong. That's moan for day. Yeah, just keep nibbling at it till it looks good. Here we go, it lines up nice there. Then, yeah, that's not going to interfere with crease, I don't think, when I fold it. Because that's your other concern, if it's going to interfere with those creases. Let me just ink those middle creases so you can actually see them. If I ink the outer one, can you see? Yeah, I'll ink that outer one. If you do struggle to see where you've scored, inking it is a good way. There you go, we can see that now. So now I can see if it comes over there, and it doesn't. That one, however, does a little bit, doesn't it? So I'm sorry to keep twisting it to cut, but I can't cut upside down. I've tried. It does not work. And I want to cut a little bit more off that one. So we're just nibbling it. Nibble, nibble, nibble. Yeah, that looks good. Now let's put it back the correct way. I love this pink, I really do. So that's going to be our back big pocket there. And I'll show you what to do to make 3 pockets here. We're going to have one pocket there, a pocket there, and a pocket there. So this is where we need a little piece of, well, any kind of scrap card. You're not going to see it, so it doesn't matter what colour it is. So I'm going to grab one from my scrap card bin. Here we go, what we got. I'm not going to spend 3 days finding what right size, but I don't want one that's too thick. I don't want really thick card. Come on, woman, you must have a piece of card that size. But then again, you have been using them recently. Oh, look at that. Look at it. It's perfect width. Could not have done that better. Those bits of scrap card are older than my kids. So I'll tell you at measurement you want to cut a little bit of scrap card to now. It wants to be just not quite as deep as that pocket. So cut it to 4.5, and it wants to be not quite as high as that pocket. 4.5 by 2 3/8. I'm going to make it. So grab your chopper, woman. 4.5 by 2 3/8. Slight craft lunch on the floor there. Just a little bit off that. And 2 3/8. Right, we're going to sneakily pop this in here so that we get an extra pocket. Right, don't get this wrong. I've not actually done this. I thought of doing it as I was putting the other one together. Right, so what we're going to do with this is we're going to pop it there. Ta-da! So when it closes, we will still have our pocket there, but we will also have our pocket in there. Yeah? So And then the things that go in that pocket and that pocket won't interfere with each other. We will lose a little bit of the width on this pocket because we've got to glue that down somehow, but that's not an issue. Well, it's not an issue for me anyway. I did something similar to this before where you held the pocket with an eyelet. You could just pop an eyelet on to hold it if you want. I don't want to in this case because that's going to be covered up. Yeah. Now I'm waffling now. Grab your art glitter glue, woman, and let's do this. Yeah, that's how I'm doing it on the inside. So can you see how that tucks in there? It's just make sure it butts up to that edge. And I'm just going to put glue on that flap. And fold that over. Yeah. That's it. Now we're going to come in and put some thumb notches in if you want to put thumb notches in. I don't want one in that pocket, but I want one in each of these. I've got my 1 1/4 inch punch. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to punch that piece of paper. Yeah, and then I'm just going to fold that back a little bit and I'm just going to punch that piece of paper there. Yeah. And then I'm going to come in and glue that to that. I put that glue too far over, silly woman. There we go. We don't need to glue bottom because it's tucked up nicely in that crease. I hope you're following this. Yeah. And before I also glue this down, I'm going to put my ink along that edge. And I'm going to put my ink I should have done that before I glued that. Yeah, be right. We've done it. We've done it. It worked. Job's a good one. Ink that. Don't dip your project in your ink, missus. A bit of ink. But again, if you're not inking, that's not an issue. Let's ink these edges as well before we glue them down. Any edges that you forget to ink, you can still come back in, and you'll have seen me do it loads of times because I am the definition of a semi-organised crafter. We also need to put some washi tape on to strengthen our spine before we do any more gluing. I just wanted to get that piece on to make that extra pocket so I didn't forget about it, because it would have been highly likely that I did. Right, so it's starting to look a little bit like a little mini journal now, isn't it? It's supposed to be shorter there, by the way, to allow for your tags to stick out and not interfere with your spine. So yeah, it's not the wrong size, as I panicked when I did my last one and thought, oh no, it's wrong size. No, it's not. Right, so washi tape. I am using Christmas washi tape. It's got snowflakes on, but I like the colour. It goes well. So I can use it. Snowflakes are not just for Christmas. Ask any of these new generation. They get called snowflakes, don't they? And I'm just putting it over there. Now, I did have a little bit of trouble with this washi tape peeling up, but it is donkey's years old. And I'm just putting it down to there. So rather than put glue along all of it, I'm just going to tuck a bit of glue under edges. So I'm just going to cut that. I can neaten it up. By folding that. Is that looking neat yet? Just snip that bit off. Yeah, that's neat enough, woman. So yeah, I'm just going to grab my art glitter. Can you see how easy it comes off? It's really old washi tape. And I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of glue down edge. I'm not bothered if this glue squidges out because edges are going to be covered up. This is just to make sure your washi tape don't peel off. It's only there to give a little bit of strength to your spine. You could use Tyvek. There's all sorts you could use, but I wouldn't use cardstock. It might make it a bit too thick, and it can prevent it bending properly on such a small little project like this. It's not a big chunky journal, is it? A bit more down there. There we go. And then I'm going to burnish it with my bone folder. I'm going to use my old manky one because I don't want glue on my new one. There we go. Right. I'm sorry I keep turning this upside down. I just need to make it. Right. So, that's all done. We're going to do a bit more gluing now. Right. I'll glue this back pocket first. Oh, let's put a bit of... Do I want to flap it that way or that way? Oh, I'm thinking I'm going to have that over there because you can hardly see it join then, can you? And I'm going to wait until I've glued it to put my thumb notch in. Because if it comes over both bits of paper... No, I'll do it high enough up so it doesn't. You already knew this, didn't you? Of course you did. There we go. It don't matter if thumb notch is at top and not bottom. No one's going to tell you off for it. So, ink your edges. I keep not wanting to ink today. I keep forgetting I need to ink just these outer edges. I'm not going to ink that because it'll just make the join show up more. I mean, I couldn't quite get my head around how to put another sneaky pocket ink back. It will be possible. It weren't happening today. That's how I want it. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to put glue down these two edges and how do I want it? Along that edge. Yeah, along that edge. Oh, silly woman. So glue. Are we even in shot? I've no idea. Glue down here. Yeah. I'm a yuppie again. I've still forgot which edge to put that glue on. That's the kind of day I'm having. That one. So I put glue on that edge. That is the wonkiest line of glue I ever did see. Well, I am doing it freehand in middle of air. So that and that. Voila. And as long as it hasn't squidged out, yeah, it hasn't squidged out, we've got a pocket there now. Me like it. And I'm going to come in with my bone folder because some of that glue will be sticking to washi tape. I want to make sure it's burnished down really well and does stick. So you can see why it didn't matter how straight we got washi tape. You should only see that middle bit. That's just the wonkiest. That really is the wonkiest. You just really didn't make a good job of that, woman, did you? But it don't matter. Don't matter. We're not looking for perfection. Right, I'll round these corners while I'm at it. I'm just going to trim that one as well. That needs a bit more of the bump trimming off. Yay. I'm using my medium one on this triple punch. That's the same as the small one on your We Are Memory Keepers chomper dial. Yeah, so that's that. So that is that one done, apart from putting things in it. Right, this front one. Now, how we have to glue this one to make sure we keep these pockets. So I want a top pocket there and a bottom pocket separate. So I'm going to glue the bottom edge of that down. Yeah. And that right hand edge there. So I'm going to glue along the top. Put it flat, then you won't get that horrible wonky line. Because we don't want to do this one really wonky, or we'll lose real estate in our pocket. And we don't want that. Yeah, this is just the wonkiest thing ever, this cutting. So that goes there. And then this one, I'm going to glue down that edge so that will strengthen that side of the pocket, but on this side, so that we've still got a pocket there and that doesn't flap freely, because we don't want no free flapping. I'm going to put a line of glue there because the inner pocket is there. But I'm going to, just because I don't want this falling apart, I'm going to make the glue come in a little bit further than I normally would. If my glue weren't blogged up again. Poke it with your pin, woman. Poke it with your pin. Go do it the other way around. You're not left-handed, are you? You never have been and you never will be. So doing that with your left hand would just tantamount to lunacy. Lunacy. That's it. There we go. So rather than my thin line, I've just come in a little bit further with that glue because I don't want any chance of that pulling off when I'm going in and out of these two separate pockets. It's very, I think there's something in this glue. There's a lump in it. It's probably a lump I've poked in when I'd not had my pin in it. So press that and press that. And then I'm not even going to try putting anything in that pocket until it is properly glued. Just get a quick... I'm going to give that a little burnish because I really want to make that glued down really good. So you can see now we've got our pocket there and our pocket there. And we've also got our pocket there. Just by adding that tiny little bit of card. So while that dries, I'm going to go ahead and ink the outsides of all this. Whee. I think I'm waffling that much. It might end up being as long as last week. No, it's not going to quite be that long. Now, another thing you could do, if you wanted to put something on the outside to strengthen it even more, you could put some lace or some washi tape, anything. You could put anything. I think I'm quite happy with that because I'm not putting anything really heavy in any of these pockets. So it depends what you're going to use it for. Yeah, thank you again, Penny, for reminding me to use those inside covers. The older Stamperia collections have just got a duplicated paper on inside covers. The newer ones tend to have more tags, excuse me, and labels and things like that. So I totally forgot that you could even do that. So you buy a 10 sheet of Stamperia papers and actually you've got 12. Because you've got the front and back covers. When it says 10 sheets, they don't count those. They don't on old ones. Do you know what? I'm going to have to count a new one now to see. Ooh. Right, anything else needs inking? Yep, this needs inking. And by the time I've done all this, I'm just going to keep having a squeeze at that to make sure everything will be dry. And that's quite simple, this then, really. On this one, I like that. Look how that happened. And do you remember that extra tram line I put in? You don't notice it because it's paper. You just don't notice it. I think I need to re-ink my ink. It's, yeah. I'm really having to press on it very hard to get anything out of it. Yeah, so the re-inking needs to happen. Right. I think we're all inked up. Everything's dry. Yeah. So that is... Oh, I just love how that looks there as well. That's the bones of your journal. Right, we're going to have a time travel problem now. Because I've totally and utterly forgot... No, we're not going to have a time travel problem. Because whatever I do is what you're going to see. I forgot what I said I was going to do with closure. Or I was going to use Velcro. But now I'm thinking I might just put one eyelet in there and do one of the wraparound closures with a dangle. I just think I will because I don't want to cover this yummy paper up. I don't. I want to leave it as is. Yeah. So, yeah, right. I'm thinking the smoke, cogs are ticking and everything. So these little bits that were cut off, I'm going to use some of that to strengthen this. Yeah, so that when we do put whatever our closure is on there, yeah, I'm going to use an eyelet. So, yeah, I'm going to cut a piece of that card. I can't be bothered to get my trimmer out. So I'm just going to hold it there. I don't want it to cover that pink line up. I think it'd look odd. So I want it to go up to that pink line. Use your big scissors, woman, and I'm just going to cut that flush. There we have it. Yeah, so I don't even want to ink that or anything. I've still not got it straight. Should have used your trimmer. Should have used your trimmer. Little voice in me is saying, shut up, couldn't be bothered to get my trimmer. Yes, oh yeah, I like that. I'm just going to glue that there. No ink on the edges, no nothing. Because I don't want to highlight the fact that we've glued a piece of card on. I'm going to use my extreme glue stick for this, my Elmer's. I think that'll be enough. I might put a smidgen of art glitter on edge. Just to make sure it doesn't peel up. Oh, it's really not wanting to squeeze out that today. I need to tack it with a pin again. That's probably where I picked glue stick up. It weren't a plan, it was like, really can't be bothered to pick that glue up again. Do you know, I've stuck that opposite way and I don't like it as much. How mad is that? Look, that looks so much better that way. It just does. Oh, what is that? Have I stuck it inside out? No, there we go. I like it. It's just go over that way a bit, mate. That's it. Perfect. So I'm going to grab my We Are Memory Keepers crocodile. Any hole making tool you've got will do. And I'm going to put, I'm using the large hole, and I'm just going to put one hole in there. There we go. Now I have got some of the coloured large brads. These ones. These are the We Are Memory Keepers brand. I went mad when I first bought my crocodile and bought a pack in every colour, and they're still here. So I'm just going to choose one. I think I might want the darker pink. That might be a bit too dark. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's it. Light pink's going to be too light, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, that looks good. So that's what we're using.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Well, it wouldn't be a YouTube video without you butting in, would it, Gert? She knows nothing. I'm going to have to bring my Funko Pop upstairs. I've got the Funko Pop of Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. I mean, I freak kids out, because sometimes, for no apparent reason, I'll just go, you know nothing, Jon Snow, and point at it. So, there we go. That's that set. So, that's our eyelet for our closure. I love it. I don't know whether to use string or I've got to use seam binding since I've got so much, haven't I? That's so nice. Ooh. Right, so let's get some ephemera cut out. So let's have a look what we got. Put your lid on your glue. Put your pin in your glue. Yeah, some things can't wait until after you've finished filming, or you'll have constant problems with your glue clogging up. So, well, I'm really happy with that. So where are the ones with, here we go. Now we've got a lot of these square ones. I really like them. I think one of them might fit in that front. I'm not going to make you watch me cut all these out either. I'll just show you what I'm using, then I will do some cutting and I will magically reappear, because you just don't need to see me cut that much stuff out. Oh, these are the others. Oh, here we go. I think that's every... Why is the Pegasus upside down? Oh, some lovely papers in this. Oh, we've got those big square ones. They're nice. Oh, I might make an envelope out of one at 6-inch squares. That would look good. Right. So get your fussy cutting scissors, woman. Oh, I've got my cover. I've been bad and cut washi tape with posh scissors. That were naughty. So, what am I going to use? They're not really long enough, are they, for in there? Some of these will be, but I may have to cut them down shorter. So I'm thinking, I could just mat that onto there. Do you know how I said I'm not going to make you watch me cut them all out? I'm going to make you watch me cut this one out, because I want to stick it on straight away. I'm going to do a bit of speed fussy cutting here. Can you see how it's a wonky edge? I'm not even making any effort to follow that edge very well, because I'm going to put ink on, and any mistakes I've made will be covered up so well you won't know. Embrace the wonkiness, woman. There we go. We could get an extra pocket out of this. I don't seem to be able to embellish a pocket lately without making it into an extra pocket. Not a bad thing. That means you can put more doodads in your journals. That's beautiful. Do not clog on me, glue. Do not clog on me. So I'm just going to glue the sides and the bottom on that. Look how wonky that were, and you'd never know. Whee. There's something in this glue that every time I squeeze it then, I need to take it off and clean it, because this is driving me doolally-wappy. If my window were open, I'd have thrown it on garden, I think, by now. No, I wouldn't really. Because we get hedgedy bogs in garden. We wouldn't want the hedgedy bogs eating glue. Oh, that's pretty. Pretty, pretty. Well, like I say, you already knew I'd done that, didn't you? This time travel business. Stop it now. Stop it, woman. So that's that. Oh, that's lovely. That doesn't need out. I'm not putting out on front. I'm just not. It doesn't need it. I don't know what. I think I'm just going to leave that as a pocket. Nothing on it, because if I then start putting other things on it, it's going to be very bulky for you to be writing in your journal, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, can you see what I forgot to glue? Oh, I didn't put enough glue on. Silly woman. No, I didn't put enough glue on there. Put some more on. I must have forgot altogether. That to have come off completely. There we go, that's plenty on. Oh, and if you ever wanted to know to juggle with glue, you just had a demonstration there. Fabulous. That's better. Don't come off again. Right, so that's that. Now I am going to go and cut out some of these others off camera, because we're going to start sticking them in things and using them. So 2 ticks. And I'm back. So I've done some cutting out and some inking. And yeah, they're not the perfect size, some of these ephemera bits, but I'm going to make them fit. So I would prefer longer tags in there, but I've got these tags. So I'm going to put eyelets and ribbon on, and then it's going to stop them going in too far. So I want that one in there. This pocket is a little bit too narrow, so I'm going to just trim this tag down a little bit. So grab the trimmer. I'm going to take a little bit off each side so that the shape at the top isn't affected too much. I could do it with scissors, but I could end up with a tag that's, yeah, 1/2 inch wide, knowing me. So bit off each side. Now let's see how that fits. Oh, that's perfect now. I just need to come and round my corners again. Yeah, I'm a happy bunny with that one. So a small corner punch I've used on the bottoms. And I'm just going to get my Timmy scissors and just round them off nicely. Yeah, we like. That one's not too bad. I think I'd cut that corner a bit dodgy to start off with. Now it's perfect. And I'll just come in and put some more ink on here. This, they already had, they looked as though they were inked, these Stamperia ones. So just adding that bit of extra ink. Yeah, that looks good. So that's going to be my bottom pocket. That's going to be my top pocket. I've decided in here, I've cut this out. These are 2 separate journal cards, but I've left them attached together because I'm just going to fold them. I've already rounded my corners, which will help me line them up. So do it on desk, woman, not your journal. It'll be much easier. I'm my own worst enemy, me, sometimes, aren't I? I really am. And there we go. So see, we've got that bit of white on edge, but not a problem. Just get it inked up. Because I really like that dragonfly poking out at top. I hope this is not too wide. Oh, it's perfect. Perfect. Oh, that looks so good with dragonfly there and butterfly there. I feel I could go to town with stickles on this project. It would look good. Right. I'm going to use the same coloured eyelets as well that I've used for closure on these. I'm not necessarily going to use the same colour. I think pale might look better on that. What colour did I use for closure? It weren't that colour, were it? So that colour could go nice on there. Yeah. Oh, that's an even different colour. Oh, I like that light pink one. Have I just swapped that for the same colour eyelet? No, there's a slight difference. I'm not going totally mad. Oh, I like that colour. That goes better with pinks, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to use those two. So I grab the chomping dial. It's called a crocodile. I'm just being silly. Sorry. Make sure it goes far enough down. So if I put my L2 near edge, you see that eyelet wouldn't look good. Which one? That one goes on that. That one goes on that. I will say it, you can tell a difference, you know, when you use proper way on memory keepers eyelets. They do work so much better. But when it's just the plain ones, not these fancy ones, you've got to think, do they work that much better that it's worth paying that much more? Don't know. Move that. What's that? There we go. Then, oh yeah. So they're gonna be peeking out there. I mean, I know I'm aware that we're having light issues now. It's because I'm not normally filming at this time of day. I have learned how to alter some of my lighting when I'm editing though. Oh, I like that. I don't know if I want eyelash trim on them or just a bit of twine. Oh, I don't know. I don't really know. Oh, I think I need eyelash trim because I want them to look really nice. Not eyelash trim. Seam binding because I want it to look really nice at that side. Now hopefully, just it's gonna, oh yeah. Ooh, just got enough clearance. I didn't think about that with fancy tag tops. So yeah, I'll just get away with seam binding. Right, let's grab some. So what colour do I want for my closure? I want to pick the turquoisey colour out, I think. Don't say I'm going to use one of the same colours I used last week. I do this all the time. I've got all these colours to pick from now and I keep going for the same ones. Oh, that looks good. Sea mint. Oh, I like that. Then we've got frosted lime. No, that's too green. I'm like it, that mint. Just, it seems to go well with Stamperia, that mint. So I think it's going to have to be that for closure. And I want a couple of pinks. These are all from the scrap cabin shop again, by the way. So I will link her down below in the description. I like that pink. It matches that butterfly on the tag really well. Sometimes maybe a bit darker goes better. I've got a couple more pinks in here. What we got? That's dusty pink. Again, it's the I'm keep going for the same ones. Oh, I got two dusty pinks. Oh, I didn't know I had two. Well, I picked it twice, so I must really, really like it. Yeah. So a bit of dusty pink, bit of mint green. I think I want some turquoisey. There's not much turquoisey in. Oh, I really like that. Oh, that could get a big pop of colour. Let's have a look for some more blue. I've got another bluey colour here that I like. Tell me that's the same colour. Elegant Peacock. It's Elegant Peacock. I think sometimes, you know, when they're from different batches, they can look different. So they're the same colour, but they look different. I think I like that one better. I do like the Elegant Peacock. Yeah, go for it, woman. Sorry about all crinkly dinkling. So, I'm going to use Elegant Peacock for my closure, I think. Let's take some out and look at it across the journal. I'm really not good at taking these out in a organised fashion. Oh, I don't know, it might be too blue. I think I'm liking that better, the mint. I might put some peacock on one of the tags. Yeah, because we've got that blue butterfly there. I'm going to put a bit of blue on the tag. Yeah, do that, missus. And use your green for your closure again. I've lost end. It's like detangling wires, because I don't do things very tidily. I don't want loads. I might try putting these through before I cut any off my length. So that's it. I like to go in from the front. Yeah, that's going to be enough. So I'll cut that off. And I'll pop them through. Again, this seems to be my favourite way to do tags again at minute. At one time, my favourite way was to put the seam binding through and then tie it with string. Oh, that's perfect. I like that. And I want that pink coming out there. Oh yeah, that'll be good. Oh, I found the end there. I can guesstimate about how much I use this time. I'm going to make it longer rather than shorter. So I'll put my hands together. Put that bit through where it folds. You can put dangles and all sorts on here. You can really go to town. Oh, I like that. I really like those peeking out there. I think the colours go well. And is that? Yes, they do fit lovely. Yep, my closure's not going to be compromised. Do you know what? I'm going for this. It just picks out that bit of turquoise there, lovely. Yeah, I'm going for it. I think the green might be a bit pale. Yeah, with that pink one. Yeah, I'm going pink and blue. I can. So I'm going to use a double piece of the seam binding, but I'm only going to have this wrapping round once, I think. So I'm just going to thread it through. This is how I decide how much I need when I do this style of closure. I'm going to thread it through, pull yay much out. I hope I didn't knock my camera there. I've had to put it on charge now. Yeah, and I want it to go around just one more time this time, and then it's going to drop through there, and I've got a couple of charms I'm going to put on the end. So yeah, I'm going to cut it to about there. Unwind it again. I'll keep my fingers on that because I'm going to thread it through exactly like I do a tag. So fold it in halfish. I don't need to keep my fingers on. Line your ends up, woman. That's halfway. Yeah. So I don't know which way around I prefer this. Yeah, I think I want it that way. Yeah. So that will wrap round, and again, then I'm going to put charms on the end and they will dangle through. But even before that, I'm going to put a knot in this. Now, in fact, no, I'll put my charms on before I put my knot in, because then it might be hard to knot after the charms. Right, I've had this hanging about on my desk for ages, and it's one of those that you thread something through it that way. Now, this is not going to be easy, but I'm going to do it because I want to do it. So that's going to be one of them. If anyone's got any other way, perhaps I could wrap some sellotape around that and then thread it through. I don't know. I'm going to poke it through with a needle. Don't worry, it's not a really sharp one. Maybe I could grab it with pokey tweezers. I don't really know. Does that fit through? No. I've picked too big a needle. But I know I want to get this charm on end of this seam binding. That one's too big. Maybe the hole in the bottom of this butterfly ain't as big as I thought it were. So maybe this is not going to fly at all. I'm just going to try twisting that more. I don't know whether this is going to happen, people. I just don't know whether what I want to do is even possible. I'm going to try wetting that. Oh, there's not much water. Oh, craft orange. Just put a bit of water. Tim Holtz bottle. Yeah. I haven't licked it, honest. No, it's just not going to happen. I am so sad about that because I really wanted to put that butterfly on. If I want to put butterfly on, I'm going to have to start messing with thread and beads and bits and bobs. I'm going to have one more go though. I've just said I can't do it and I'm going to try again. It's not going to work. I can't do it. That hole just isn't big enough. I'm gutted now. I'm really gutted. I might have to, yeah, go and have a lie down in a dark room because that didn't work. I'm just going to cut that ragged bit off because it'll upset me. So I can't put that on there like I wanted to. It's going to have to go on to something else and hang, but then I may as well use something else. Oh, do you know what? I've got an angel hanging about on my desk doing note. Like you do. I was making a few glued angles this week. So, hook an angel on. There you go. It's Wonderland, it's fantasy, it's got unicorns, it's got all things like that, so it can also have angels. So, now my method of closure is going to have to be beads. So 2 ticks while I grab some beads. And I'm back. So I've got some spacer beads with bigger holes than that butterfly had. I'm pretty gutted about that, actually. Pretty gutted. Ooh, that's got a nice big hole. Oh, I like these. I've used these before on journals. These long ones, but I don't know whether that's going to work either. Oh, that's a bigger hole. That could work. I like that. And I happen to have got a couple of them.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
You keep saying that. I really think you need to keep your nose out our gate, unless you know how to get a tiny bead onto a big chompy piece of sari silk. You're not really any good to us. All right, I'm going to try. It's going to be deja vu now trying to get through this one. Maybe my usual method will work this time. I normally just get a needle and poke it in. There you go. It worked this time. Yay. Oh, I don't need those big ones. Those little ones, sorry. I think just one. I just wanted something heavy to hold the sari silk once I had threaded it through. And do you know, I'm not sure I've even done it before with, I keep calling it all sorts this, seam binding, with your seam binding. There you go. That's it. So I'm just going to tie a little knot now in end to stop those beads coming off. And then when I've tied a knot to stop each bead coming off, I'll tie the 2 strands into a knot as well. So that's one. We like that. Can stick an angel on if I want to. It just happened to be on my desk. I wanted to use that butterfly because it was on my desk. So I've used an angel instead now. So that's that. Yeah, they'll be heavy enough to hold that down. Just take your angel off for now, missus, while you get this knotted up. Do you know what? I might even stick the angel through an eyelet there instead. We could. Just make sure I've got that nice and straight together. Yeah. And I'm just going to tie the 2 ends together in a knot. I'm going to leave that one a bit bigger. Don't need to be tight. I think you need to be shorter, don't you, missus? You keep sticking out. And we don't want you sticking out in this instance. That's it. There, there, there. There we go. Then that big knot there that I've tied also helps hold it. There we go. And then on the front, I want to put one of these cards just tucked in, peeking, but I don't know which one. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I really like that. So let's get that inked up. And then we need to pop a few cards in pocket. And then we've just got to put the pages in and we are done. That pages, I'm going to do very similar. Yeah, I like that. Oh, we could put the charm. I really want to get this charm on now. I'm like, I've decided I want a charm and I'm having a charm. Oh, no, I'm just going to hook it on. Hook it on, woman. It will also help keep the two lengths of sari silk together, won't it? If I hook it round both, yeah, there you go. It's not even sari silk, Julie, it's seam binding, and you know it. Yeah, so that's that. Right. So we've done that. I'm leaving that one plain. I've cut some more little squares out for tucking in. That's the one for front now. For tucking in there. Yeah, then you can fill that with anything that is waiting to go in your journal then, can't you? Right. Now the pages. I did it again. I had a few people ask me to show them what I use for pages. So I'm just going to get you I've got this big chompy box of paper. Look. Yeah, it's donkey's years old. There used to be a shop called Paper Mill Shop and you could fill a box that size for about £3. Boy, did I go mad. So I'm just going through and picking out any sheets whose colour looks good with what I'm making. So I've got some pearlescent sheets there. Ooh, I like that one. And what else? Ooh, that's like, oh, that's vellum. Oh, I didn't even know I had that. It's quite a grey colour. I'll put a sheet of that in. I must have thought that were grey paper last time I looked in the box. Oh, I like that. That's like a cloudy one. I'm never going to use this paper for anything else. So, use it for... That's gorgeous. Ooh, look at that. Use it for journal pages, missus. And a cream. And I think that will be enough. Right. Yeah, I got asked to show how I cut my pages to size. Let me check how many I've got here now. Make sure there's not too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A bit more than last time, but it's a thicker spine, so I think we'll get away with that. Right, we need a 2-second tidy before we crack on with this. And I'm back. Things are much tidier. So I've decided I want that nice pink and I want the vellum. I just love the look of having a vellum as the outer sheet lately. I don't know why. Right, so how I cut my papers, it's right easy when I'm doing stuff like this. So I need to know what size my journal is and what size my papers need to be. So that needs to be a maximum really of 5 inches. So to be on the safe side, I'll probably make it 4 3/4. And the height is 5 1/2. So I'm going to make it 5 1/4 by 4 3/4, this paper. Now what I do is I will fold it first because I'm not going to be... If I wanted to be really stingy with my paper, I'd measure it, cut it. But I'm not going to be that stingy. Also, I like this method because it gets my paper nice and square. So I've folded 3 pieces together there. And I'm going to cut 3 pieces together. No, I'm not, because I haven't got my biggest trimmer. I'm going to cut 2 pieces at a time. Oh, that were 4 anyway. Oh, that would have been dodgy. So they're cut, they're folded. And it wants to be 5 1/4 in height. So I'll shuffle them down. So that will be the top. And I'm going to cut this to 5 1/4. I have my crease at the top. Did I say 4 1/4 or 4 3/4? Can somebody rewind for me and let me know, because I've totally and utterly forgot. Honestly, I have not got a memory today. I've got the memory of a goldfish. So let's measure it. Rule it right way up, woman. 4 3/4, yeah. So it's 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. So I'm then going to cut this to the full width of 4 3/4. That's then my 2 outer sheets. Have them that way. Now my next 2 sheets that I've folded, I'm going to cut to the same height of 5 1/4. This is a bit wonky. I've folded it wonky, so I'll cut that to get a nice straight edge. I'll cut that to 5 1/4, the same, not bigger, because I like mine to look neat. And I'm going to cut this to a smidgen less than the 4 3/4. Just a smidgen, like 1/16 of an inch. And then when I put those 2 inside, ooh, you don't need to, they don't stick out, because I like my outer page to be my biggest page, because as you go through you need, if we lined all those up together, they'd all, each one would stick out further, wouldn't it? We know this. So I just cut a smidgen more off as we go along. So I'm then going to take my next 2 pieces of paper. I've got a pink and a blue. Fold them in half. See, a lot of these papers, they're not square. That were another reason they were in this shop where you can just buy a bucket load cheap. They were probably rejects. They'd not been cut perfectly enough for the manufacturer who had ordered them. So 5 1/4 in height, and I'm going to go even less this time. I'm going to go full 1/8 of an inch under my 4 3/4. So every 2 pages I just cut them 1/16 of an inch shorter when I'm using just regular plain paper. That might not work if you're using paper of all different thicknesses. Just bear that in mind. So then my next 2, oh, I've ended it with 2 cream ones. Oh, that's more like card. I don't want that. I'm going to swap it out. I took a blue one out I weren't sure about, so I'm going to use that now. We'll have that middle. So we'll fold that. But by working from my crease as my first straight edge, I can then get all my pages flush, and that's how I do it. Because someone asked how I'd done them. No, I'd not done them with a craft knife. You've seen me with a craft knife, it's not good. I do use them sometimes. I can't remember if I used one at any time last time. So this time I'm going to go in another 1/16 of an inch. Maybe a smidge more, because this is very thick paper. And then that's going to go inside there. So there we have it. Yeah, they're not all perfect, but I've got that look as though they are. They look perfect enough. They're straight enough, good enough, perfect enough. So that is how I do my pages. Now on this one, I've got all these bits left over to make little scrap notebooks. Even these bits are perfect. They're going in my scrap boxes for making collage masterboards and such like. Right, so that's my pages for my journal cut. I'd have been better putting closure on after I'd banked journal, really, wouldn't I? Now at this point, you can bind this in a number of ways. You can do your 3-hole pamphlet stitch, which I'm going to use. You could bind it with twine. You could even bind it with a piece of the seam binding, sari silk, whatever you want to bind it with. But I'm going to do my 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Right, I'm going to use, I'll use cream. We'll go for 1, 2. I hear people say you need 3 times length of your spine for this. I like to have a bit extra, because I'm really good at getting my measurements and my calculations wrong. So if I've got a bit extra, that's less likely to happen, isn't it? That's what I find anyway. I've got my bodkin. It's sharp, but not too sharp. That's what I like. I'm going to get my bradawl to do the stabbing, to do the puncturing of holes. Now on this one, because I've put 3 creases, I'm just going to have to make sure I've got it creased on the centre one. Yeah, while I do my binding. Or it'll be a bit wonky donkey. And we don't want wonky donkey, do we? If you want wonky donkey, go and watch the Scottish Granny read the book. So that's that. That looks good enough to me. I forgot what colour I've got in the middle. I've got a blue one in the middle. Yeah, that looks like I've got the middle. And I'm just going to come in and puncture roughly in the middle. It might be lower near at bottom than top this, but hey ho. And at the top, there's a bit of resistance because I'm puncturing the washi tape, and at the bottom. Now I'm just going to pop my bradawl back in. I should have left it. I'll leave it in bottom while I get my bit of cotton on my needle, and I'm going to go through the middle to the outside because I'm going to tie the knot on the inside. Leave myself enough to tie. Then I'm going to go back from the outside through that top hole into the middle. Miss the middle hole out altogether. I'm going to go back in that hole where my bradawl were holding it straight for me. I've lost that hole. Where is it? There it is. Found it. So back to the outside. I've done this so many times recently. It's just my current thing. And then I'm going to go back in that. So I'm going to pull that down and that down. Then I'll have a little gap above that cotton to just get this back through without sewing through cotton. It can make your binding a bit wonky if you sew through cotton, but if you do sew through cotton, the world will indeed not end. So that's that. I want a piece of string one side and piece other, which I've got. Just pull it, check I've got no loops where we don't want loops, and it's all gone through. Yeah, that looks good to me. And this one, I'm just going to tie it this time and put it in a bow. I'll just do one knot. It is waxed thread, it's not going to come undone. And then I tie it in a bow, so then the person who gets it can leave it in a bow, or they can untie that last bit and put some beads on. I would suggest if you ever get one from me and you want to snip it really close, just put another knot in it first. If you put too many knots in, it makes that middle a bit bulky. So there we have it. That's really wonky, you know, because I cut that wonky, but world's not going to end, is it? I must have said that 50 times this video. Right, just going to snip those down to an acceptable length. There we go, don't cut your finger. And what I also did while I was tidying my desk is I just quickly, I decided that I know I wanted to leave this plain, but I thought that looked a bit too plain on the front. So I got this. Yeah, and it says, imagine everything is the preview of life's coming attractions. And I can't decide if I wanted it top at bottom. I'm going to put that on the front there. Because I like, even though part of that gets covered up, you can still read that little saying. And I'm just going to glue it on 3 sides so that can then tuck in. That was just a last minute thing I decided to do. Have I inked that? Do you know? Yeah, I have. I couldn't tell. Oh, that's really winding me up now. Come here, glue. I'm going to have to take that off and wash it in some hot soapy water. Luckily, I think this is this last thing I've got to glue. Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to block up again already. I think what's happened is sometimes if you don't put your pin in and you get a hard lump of glue and then you push it in, then that is, every time you squeeze glue, it's squeezing that hard lump back into nozzle. Oh, I like that. There we go. That gets tucked in there. Oh, I do like that. And I did something else while I were off camera. I wanted rifling. Go on, Angel. You go there. You can go round again. Oh, I like that. I really like that idea to put that on. So you're tucked in. So we're all done now. And I found a dragonfly, and I found a little dragonfly, and I found a butterfly. So because this video has gone on and on and on, and I said it were going to be shorter this week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one up there in that top corner, and then we've got like 3 silvery things on the front. Oh, should I put it on the card? If it's on card, it needs to be a butterfly, doesn't it? No, that doesn't look good there. I'm going to put it there. I want it there at the top of the journal, a little dragonfly. And I'm going to swap the angel out for that. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to do, right, I'm going, because that turned into nearly a marathon again. And it's not nearly as complicated as last week's, she says. So thank you very much for watching. And I will see you next time. Bye.